Call the meeting of Oneness of Borough Council to order. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Berner will be absent. Councilmember Durr.
Here.
Councilmember Mokel.
Here.
Councilmember Barnett. Here. Councilmember Senko.
Here.
Councilmember Reeser.
Here.
Council President James.
Here. Okay, this evening prior to this meeting, there's an executive session where personnel matters and real estate issues were discussed. Are there any public comments this evening as they relate to the agenda items? Okay, hearing none, we'll move along. Okay, before you are the council minutes from April the 11th and April the 18th. And I'll entertain a motion to approve, amend, or deny. Motion to approve in a second. All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. So approved. Consulting engineers report. Mr. McCarthy, good evening.
Good evening. Keep it brief. Everything's in my report unless you have any questions for me. Go on this month. I will tell you, we do finally have all the PennDOT clearances for the pedestrian bridge and the tennis court apartment culvert.
So in the fall, we can start on
Yeah, it's on infrastructure's agenda to authorize bidding, but I just figured I'd let everyone know that we finally got through all the PennDOT hurdles.
it?
As of, what was that, Thursday afternoon, I think we finally got the email saying
Yeah,
clear.
a year plus later. No such thing as free money.
The bridge was a lot longer than that. I think that started when we first came on.
Yeah, 10 years later, that'll be all the
Great report.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
Mr. Babb, do you have anything you wanna,
No, nothing urgent, but I appreciate the offer.
all righty,
Okay.
okay. And entertain the motion to approve the engineer's report. Motion second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So approved. Police chief and mayor's report. Chief Phelps and the mayor.
I don't have anything to add. The chief, as always, will walk through some highlights from the report.
Good evening, everyone. We were available a total of 2,891 hours of service for the month of April. We handled 631 calls. 150 of those were in our business districts for 24% of our calls, and 36 were in our residential communities for 6% of our calls. Took us an average of 8.17 minutes to arrive on location, and our average time on assignment was 27.15. Training that we did for the month, we finished up our updates. We were on the range doing our qualifications and less lethal training. Officer attended acute stress and human performance considerations training, and the monthly Police One Academy was traffic stops and safety. We gave assistance a total of 20 times through the month and received it a total of 14. On this first one with the bullet point with the different items that were at fire and police, the miles for Berea 5K slated for 8/13 that fire and police approved. I've spoken with the organizers of that event. That's being postponed at this point for now, but the others are still in effect. Civil Services is scheduled to meet now on May 25th at noon to discuss the items that were discussed at fire and police regarding hiring and promotions. We took several calls during the month for some people getting phone calls from individuals claiming to be from various law enforcement agencies. None were our agency they were claiming to be, but they were telling the people that they owed money or they were going to be arrested. They were asking for account information, that type of thing, asking for gift cards to be sent, which is something we obviously would not do. None of our residents were out of anything. They knew what it was, thankfully. So I did put something out on social media advising it, and Channel 69 picked it up and did a news about it as well. So we try to get that information out there. Regarding the officer-involved shooting, I believe maybe most of you saw that on district attorney has cleared all officers involved with that, so we don't, I don't have to worry about any charges being brought against our officer that was involved. And Jim Babb has seen to it that the basketball lines have been put on Lawndale, and they're down, we've got the distance in, and our officers are there. You may have seen in the Daily Blotters that some vehicle stops have been in that area as a result of those lines and some other violations. So we are having a presence in that area, and hopefully the residents there are seeing that.
Have we communicated anything back to the residents at this point?
I have not, no. I'm not,
It might not be a bad idea, just to circle back to them, to, especially those individuals that were the most vocal, that gave you their email addresses so they can spread the word, just letting them know that, you know, X, no, this, we promised that you were gonna do this, this, and this has already been done, and we already seen the results. Please stay involved with the community, or whatever else you wanna say, but just, I think we should just highlight the fact that we're following through so they don't come back at some point and say, you didn't do it.
I'll take care of that. Okay. And then for our calls for the month, traffic stops are as always the number one incident that we've handled throughout the month. We had a total of 64 crashes. We issued out 198 either citations, parking tickets, or warnings. We arrested 29 individuals for the month, and we dealt with 4 subjects, or wanted subjects rather, and there were 31 Part 1 or Part 2 offenses, which left our remaining calls for service just out at 631. You can see that breakdown of what those Part 1 and Part 2 offenses were. Currently, we're at 74% clearance rates for the month, or for the year rather, and in comparison, you can see for the past years of where that stands for this point in those years. Went through just under, or just about 741 gallons of fuel and patrolled just under 7,000 miles. Between all of the fines and monies collected for reports and overtime reimbursement, we brought in $12,754. Retail thefts were our largest incident that we made arrests for in the month, and 3 o'clock was the busiest time at 43 incidents, and Tuesday being our busiest day at 106. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Any questions for the chief?
Seem to be getting more mental health calls. Is there any resources we can provide to you to handle them? I know there's a lot of referrals to Hope.
Right, Holcomb is the agency now that the county contracts with, that deals with individuals having those issues. I don't, there's not, I don't know that the council can provide to us. This is unfortunately an incident or type of events that are occurring with more frequency, and it's not just here, it's everywhere. Mental health has become an issue in our society, and people are having struggles. So we try to get them to the right people that can help them. And it's, we can get them there, but it's up to them to take advantage of it.
In some of the dust-ups that have occurred in the country over the last couple of years, there have been suggestions made that some of these matters ought to be handled through mental health as opposed to what can become a physical sort of police action. And I think this shows that we're ahead of that curve, that we're doing exactly that.
With mental health too, as you know, I'm still part of the SWAT team in the command element, and one of the things that we've done with the SWAT team is we're not sending necessarily the entire team out to these type of incidents when they're armed and barricaded. We have negotiators that are trained, and we're sending out 2 negotiators, and either myself or one of the other members of the command staff will go as well, and we're trying to resolve it that way. As a person that stood out there for hours at a time with some of those incidents, I came to believe that when they saw us out there, that just kind of infuriated them and made the situations worse. You know, so now it's a negotiator, it's the patrol officers for that jurisdiction, I mean, they have to deal with securing it, and the perimeter and all that type of stuff, but the negotiators, it's gone much better since we started doing this as a team. They're getting people out within an hour or so, and that's what we want to happen. We don't, I said, I never liked the fact that we're taking a team, the people that needed help, crying out for help, and we end up going there and doing something because they kind of forced the hand. I want to try to prevent that at all possible. So it's worked out, and it's something that I just had some training and I had some officers go to with crisis negotiations, and you know, we're trying to do that in-house as well, so that we can get our people to start talking to these people and hopefully bring them down and calm their emotions, and so we have a peaceful resolution versus having to use force against somebody. So, you know, it's what we have to try to do. Time's on our side in these instances, and learning to talk and getting people to talk.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the chief or for the mayor? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, both of you. Motion carries. Fire chief's report, Chief Hackman.
Good evening, council. For the month of April, the fire department responded to 163 responses consisting of 22 fires, 36 motor vehicle accidents, 35 QRS medical, 25 hazardous conditions, 42 alarm activations, and 3 smoke detector details. Total responses in the borough, 107, in the township, 28, and outside the borough, 28. System-wide, we had 275 responses and 62 mutual aid responses system-wide. The 88 overlapping calls, there was 40 between Spring and Wyomissing, 20 between Wyomissing, and 28 between Spring. Out of the 35 medical calls, we had 18 patient contacts, no Narcan administration for the month. Our busiest day of the week was Saturday with 57 incidents, and our busiest hour of the day was 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. with 23 incidents. We had fire loss of $2,800. That was for a vehicle fire on 222. Saved property of $830. Our average turnout per incident was 4.6. Volunteer response for the month was 31, and total responses to the end of April was 593. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for the fire chief? I have one. I understand that engine 79 was out for pump test and.
Yes.
How
Annual
how
service
did we fare out?
and inspection, we didn't fare out good at all. The couple big items, the fuel tank was leaking, the seat belts needed to be repaired, a couple of the internal valves in the pump needed to be repaired. So currently everything's done, we're waiting for a fuel tank because it is a 2010. Ironically, we didn't notice any diesel fuel leaking or whatever, but it sounds like it's on the top of the tank that's up underneath. Because the guys are pretty diligent about hosing off with the pressure washer and everything with the weather, but I'm guessing that they can't get to that area with the snow and the grime and stuff like that. So it apparently finally rotted through, so we're waiting for that.
Is it in service or out
No,
of
no, it's up at Clicks because it's
Oh,
out
still
of
at
inspection.
Clicks.
They won't put an inspection sticker on it until the new fuel
Gotcha.
sticker's on it.
service? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the fire chief's report.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is approved, thank you, chief. Moving on to committees, infrastructure, Mr. Durr.
Infrastructure Committee met on April 17th at noon. Craft Code was here to review various zoning code reports. We had an update from the water representative as to the status of some of the issues with Western Berks and the pipe going underneath. I think that was pretty much, other than what's in the report, as part of it. As Jim said, they've got, that's what I'm here. Okay. As part of the report, a motion is needed to approve, table, or deny authorizing the payment application number 1 from Wexcon Inc. in the amount of $288,952.91 for the 2022 water main replacement work. And I'll make that motion.
Motion
Yeah. Motion approved.
We have a motion and a second, roll call please.
Councilmember Durr,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel,
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett,
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko,
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser,
Yes.
Council President James.
Yes.
We also need a motion, and I will make the motion authorizing payment application number 4 from LB Enterprises Inc. in the amount of $7,156.45 for the 2022 50/50 street sidewalk repair project. That's the balance of what we owed for that, right, Jim?
Correct.
And I will make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, roll call.
Councilmember Durr,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel,
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett,
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko,
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser,
Yes.
and Council President James.
Yes.
We also will need a motion, which I will make, authorizing payment number, application number 3, in the amount of $316,455.30 to Telco for the Green Light Go work. I will make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, roll call.
Councilmember Durr,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel,
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett,
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko, Councilmember Reeser,
Yes.
and Council President James.
Yes.
Also, at the infrastructure committee meeting, there was ongoing discussions as it relates to the administration and police department's needs study. And as part of that needs study, there was discussion about asking Blair appraisers, a real estate company, to give us an appraisal on 555 and 575 Van Reed Road. We went ahead and asked them to do that, and we are now asking the council to ratify that decision. Is that what we're doing, Chris?
Yes.
So I will make a motion that we ratify the decision that the infrastructure committee made for Bel Air Real Estate to move on with appraising 555, 575 Van Reed Road and not to exceed a cost of $2,500.
Roll call.
We have a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Wait, I have a question, I think we were discussing it having $2,500 for both those properties.
It was, but the other one was 111, 1011
1011,
Road
okay.
Park. So it was 2,500 for Park, 1011 Park Road and 1011 for Van Reed.
Okay.
2,500 for each.
Good.
Okay. Hey, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
And I think that's it for infrastructure, Jim, unless you have something else you want to bring up.
No.
We're gonna cover that under it.
Hearing Jim having nothing, that's the end of the infrastructure.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve the infrastructure committee report.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, so approved. The library board, Ms. Barnett.
Library continues to update policies, fundraising continues, the easiest fundraising was Kimberton Cold Foods, where people donated money and Kimberton matched it, so the library received more than $7,500 from that. The backbreaker was the Derby party, and Mr. Banks would know that better than anybody because his wife was chair of that and did a fabulous job.
And I bet the horse too, that one. Of course, the money went right back to the library.
Well done. The library, I think, has hired a children's librarian, and not as of the date of the meeting. The library's got, my personal regard is about a peculiar hiring policy. The librarian is the only person who interviews the children's librarian. She's the only person who does reference checks, and the board as a whole does not approve the hire, but it is what it is. And I expect to learn at the children's library next week.
Okay.
It's different.
And I'm just trying to figure that all out.
Yeah.
But it's what it is.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions about the library? point out that, it was myself there on Saturday night, Mr. Stanko, and, Mr. Reeser. So we had 3 from council and representing the borough, which is a better turnout than it's ever been. So, that was great, and the overall, fundraising, was very successful, and thank you letters will be going out to the hosting, party, if you will, resident from the library board.
Bill, can you make juleps with doers?
No, I did not even have a bottle there,
Okay.
so I was on my second favorite
Just a
friend.
question, was it?
That's not my second favorite friend.
That wasn't on the agenda. I take it back.
You're out of order. Okay, entertain a motion to, accept the library board report.
So moved.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved, thank you very much. Gotta have a little practice. Okay, moving on to personnel. Mr. Mogul.
Meeting was held on April 18th at 11 a.m. There's essentially 3 things that we discussed. One was a public works lead position, another one was public works maintenance position, and police department staffing issue. And there were recommendations made. First was a recommendation to the board to table, approve, or deny promoting the current Public Works employee Jake Taylor to the Public Works lead position. I make a motion to table this until a further meeting.
Second.
We have a motion to table, the, Public Works lead position, and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, the motion is tabled.
Second action item is that the board recommended to council to approve the advertisement and hiring of a public works maintenance employee contingent upon background screening and physical. And that passed the committee unanimously. I'll make that motion.
You're making the motion to approve?
Making a motion to approve the authorization of the advertisement.
Okay. Motion to approve, is there a second?
Keith.
Okay, and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, motion is approved.
And we did discuss the police department staffing, but it's not on the list, so I assume that's gonna be covered somewhere else in the agenda. Finance. All right, finance will handle that.
And just an update, Civil Service Commission has been scheduled for Thursday, May 25th at noon. So that process is chugging along.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
there's nothing else.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve the personnel committee report.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, so approved, thank you. Recreation Board, Ms. Barnett and Peter Beck.
I'll let Pete give most of the report, but I would like to start out by saying there's going to be a concert on the lawn of Borough Hall on June 11th. And the Wyomissing Band has asked me to express particular thanks to the mayor, the rec director, and the borough manager in helping with that. So thank you. So Pete.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Just a couple dates to keep in mind as the summer and late spring programming gets rolling. This Saturday is the fishing rodeo at the Stone House. The 27th is the Memorial Day Parade in Wyomissing Hills and the ceremony that follows. There's also a corresponding Kaufman's Chicken Barbecue to benefit Troop 413. That they're selling tickets, the little kids are out selling tickets now. June 10th, which I believe is a Saturday, that is the Coffee Outside event. We had to reschedule from the 29th of April. That includes a Bambo bike ride, that's the Berks Area Mountain Bike Association. I should also mention that the concert on the lawn on the 11th is sponsored by Mr. Drury and his Grateful Companions that are putting money forward for that, to be able to host that event. So it's a fantastic event. Should be great. And then on June 12th, our summer programming begins. That is playground, tennis, and the pool really kind of ramps up at that point. Anyone has any? Oh, go ahead.
Do you have what registrations are doing for playground?
I didn't honestly look before I came. I think we're a little behind last year. That ends on the 19th. That's the last day to register, so we hope we have a little bit of an uptick. It's not financially really going to be any different because we don't have as many kids working. So we'll actually come out ahead probably than we did last year. So
And can you estimate pool memberships?
pool memberships are as steady as they've always been. That's basically the same amount every year. That was actually pretty hot when we opened it. We get 4 or 5 calls a week, sometimes 2 a day on my password doesn't work, I want to register for the pool, having trouble with the online, so it shows that it's active and people are still registering at this point. And I think, according to Greg Capriolo, the pool is just about ready to go. There's some caulking to be done, and a little landscaping, but as far as the general maintenance, it's up and ready.
And the garden club's working on
We don't have a date for that yet, that's why I didn't say anything about that. Garden Club is going to plant some perennials along the white fence. If you're familiar with the pool, they have the pump station down there to kind of block the glaring whiteness of the fence. And the 2 little planting beds when you walk in, the brick beds, and then a little delta triangle by the shallow end. They used to have a nice little cherry tree that we had to cut down because leaves kept getting in the filter. They're going to put some plants there too. But everything is rolling right along. Just have to come with a date to do all that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Peter?
There's a motion.
Right, that's what, you wanna go back to the motion? Jen?
So I have a motion to approve revising the 2023 fee schedule so that the twilight admission begins from 5 until 8 in May, June, and July, and 4 to 7 in August.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, the 2023 fee schedule is approved. Anything else? Entertain a motion to approve the rec board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, thank you. Refuge and Recycling Committee, Mr. Reeser.
Thank you. Committee met on April 19th and we discussed, among other things, review of the refuse and recycling landfill yard waste numbers. We also discussed review of refuse and recycling hauler performance. And in that regard, Ms. Carroll has been very responsive to questions and problems. So I just think that's worthy of note. We also discussed the landfill contract renewal. That's all I have.
Okay, anybody have any questions for the Refuge and Recycling Committee? Okay, hearing none, entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion is second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, thank you. Okay, the Fire and Police Committee met on April the 24th. Going down through the fire department, Chief Hackman had reported that the fire department union contract was approved by the borough and by the union, and has been signed and is in effect until 2026. Okay, under Western Berks Ambulance, just a note, they responded to 265 calls for service in the borough last month. Okay, under the police department, okay, tell me again, Chief, what are we doing with Miles? We tabling it?
Yes, we're gonna maybe see that there was some conflicts going on,
Okay,
so they try to do it again at a different day.
okay.
But
There was a request, for the Miles for Maria 5K run, and, since, changes have come to that, I'll make a motion that we table that.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we will table that motion. We have the I Am Able run, which the committee approved, and I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion second to approve, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, okay, Chief Phillips had reported that due to the recent resignation of the sergeant, there will be a sergeant's promotional opportunity within the department. Upon filling the sergeant's role, the patrol officer position will become vacant. The current civil service patrol officer's hiring list has 2 potential candidates, of which upon reaching out to remaining candidates, only one is still interested in the position. Okay, having said that, I'll make a motion to approve authorizing the hiring of the remaining candidate on the civil service list contingent upon the psychological evaluation, physical, drug screening, background investigation, and reading comprehensive test for the purpose of attending the academy. And I'll entertain a second.
So moved.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, and with all that being said, the committee is making a motion, or as recommended to council, to approve activating the Civil Service Commission to begin the process of develop a patrol officer's hiring list to fill the impending second patrol officer's position. And I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, let's see where we are. Okay, Chief Phillips also elaborated on his desire to bring back the lieutenant's position. Okay, and it was discussed amending the civil service rules and regulations for the lieutenant promotional process to only require the oral examination. And this was going to be researched by our solicitor, Mr. Hartman.
We have reviewed that question, and the contingency is not necessary. The amendment will be okay.
Okay, we need to
So
have,
we need a motion to approve the change to the civil service regs to modify the lieutenant promotional process to only require the oral exam.
So moved.
Second.
motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, discussion was, made regarding the, crosswalk, installation of the crosswalk at Lowers Lane crossing Cambridge Avenue, which was to include the appropriate signage, denoting the crosswalk, contingent upon the Wyomissing Area School District contributing to half of the installation cost. And I understand that this will not be possible until, on the school's part, till after the school board election. Is that correct?
I was told their facilities committee will not meet for the remainder of their budget fiscal year, so their facilities committee will not meet again until September, therefore, they would not be able to discuss or make a decision until the fall.
Okay, as a result of that, I'll entertain a motion to table.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it, that motion is tabled. And, anybody have any other questions?
We accept the farm
Okay,
You make a
Second.
motion?
motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, thank you. Park and Shade Tree Commission, Mr. Mogul.
Yeah, we held a quarterly meeting, actually it's our first meeting of the January meeting was canceled, April 26th. And there were some discussions, all is in the report. We were introduced to, of note, Greg Capriolo, who is the Assistant Public Works Director, who will generally be overseeing the Parks Department staff. Status of the tree inventory was discussed by Jim. 67 trees were planted, 60 more proposed for the fall. We discussed the possibility of having a plaque for a tree donation, and we need to look into that further. And kind of combine it with a park bench donation program and try to put it all together in one. Apparently plaques at trees cause problems for mowers and things of that nature, so we moved along there. So there was a long discussion about how we don't have the number of people here at these meetings as we'd like to have and greater participation. And therefore, the committee recommended to the board to increase the membership of the Park and Shade Tree Commission from a 5-person to a 7-person commission by appointing new members, which I assume will be appointed by you, Mr. Jackson. And I will make that motion. You know, there was another issue, do we have to have a Park and Shade Tree Commission, I think that's mandated. That's my recollection, Chris.
And we understand was we can have up to 9.
And then have up to 9 members. And we thought we'd take baby steps. No one's knocking down the door to get in here to these meetings.
Understand. I think our dedicated ones have
Yeah.
passed on one way or the other,
Yes, exactly.
so.
They made it like a tree and leave.
Yeah. You all wrong with me. Okay. We have a motion to,
I think we're
Oh,
waiting
waiting
for
for
the
Chris to
solicitor.
give
sorry.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Sorry.
stamp of approval.
We used to have a synopsis of all the committees and commissions about membership.
It is.
Yeah, I have that. Actually, I do have that from Melissa had given that to me.
Yeah, no, we didn't hear.
Yeah.
But if it can-
What the Fur Code says is that a shade tree commission shall be composed of 3 residents appointed by council. But the council has the authority by ordinance to increase the size of the shade tree commission to 5 members.
By ordinance?
That's what the code
So
says.
it's in the administration,
Up
chapter
to
1.
5.
we tap down.
Yeah, we're done then.
Yeah, that's what I see here.
But then I'll make a motion to table based on the solicitor's advice.
So the other question was, is it mandatory?
Oh, shall
Now, we can have alternates.
We have alternates.
we have all those?
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
Joking.
Get more older.
Get more altered. No, we're only allowed one or
So
two.
So
Well,
our goal's
But,
not,
but,
our
but
goal
what
is
council
to
members
end it.
can,
Is it May?
Council by ordinance may establish a shade tree commission.
Not must,
the question is
Right.
whether you should expand it, but that's what it
Shall.
The commission should expand.
must, or shall, may.
Yeah, we should put that on the agenda for the next meeting, based on what the solicitor said.
Big difference.
And then maybe just have it on that description.
You could have a committee, or a subcommittee or structure.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Just put them up.
Since it doesn't appear to be. So I think
It would infrastructure.
Yeah, but what's in the
Okay, Fred, you wanna,
I now withdraw my motion and make a motion to table increasing the membership based on what the solicitor has opined. And I believe Mr. Stanko second that.
Yes.
we have a motion and a second to table. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, increase in membership shall be tabled. Any other questions for Park and Shade?
Motion approved.
We have a motion to approve, second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. Thank you, Mr. Moe. Mr. Stanko.
Okay, planning commission, May 1, 3:30 p.m., got 4 items that we considered, 850 North Wyomissing Boulevard, an ordinance for the preliminary plan approval for 529 Van Reed, a technical.
Wait, a minute, we gotta go back to 850. We have a motion. That-
I think he's just giving an
We're gonna
overview.
have a motion to approve all of them.
You're giving an overview now. Is that right?
But we have to do each one
Yeah,
individually.
He's giving an overview
The
first.
Oh,
Then
okay,
we can take the-
okay.
Alright, so I was doing the technical version of the inches and minutes.
Okay, sorry.
Motion there, and lastly, the motion that was discussed regarding our B&B ordinance, reestablishment of the ordinance and advertising. So we need a motion to approve the 850 North Wyomissing grant conditional approval. And a motion to approve the preliminary plan approval for 521 Stanley Road. The ordinance section issue approval and advertising of the ordinance, all of which were approved by the planning commission. And I'd make a motion that the council approve these 4.
Now, we gotta take each one at a time. So let's take the first one and, the motion for 850 North Wyomissing Boulevard.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 850 North Wyomissing Boulevard is approved. Okay, next will be a motion to approve 521 Van Reed Road from the subdivision and land development ordinance 303.1.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And that is approved. Okay, we have a motion to granting the waiver requested for 521 Van Reed Road from subdivision and land development ordinance 401.1 and 403.1. Entertain that motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Okay, and there's a motion to approve ordinance number 1435-2023,
This would be to approve advertising.
advertising. of the bed and breakfast establishment.
So,
We have a motion to approve advertising. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, ordinance 1435-2023 is approved for advertising.
motion to approve the report of the planning commission.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve the planning commission's report. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Thank you, Mr. Stanko. Finance and Administration, Mr. Durr.
Finance Administration Committee met on May 4th, at 8 a.m. in the morning. Phyllis reviewed the April results. It's in the report, but the summary is that we're still pretty much on budget. She reported cash at the end of April of $13,980,000, of which $1,916,000 reserved. $8 million is currently being invested with Pliget, Pennsylvania local government.
Investment trust.
And we'll discuss Pliget a little bit more in the future, on the next subject. Currently, our local tax income has been coming in pretty much on budget, slightly above. Earned income tax continues to lag behind, but our mercantile receipts are up, mercantile tax is up. There's a report from the tax collector that our borough taxes are actually coming in better than in previous years. And reviewing the capital expenditures on the budget, they appear to be pretty much on schedule and on budget, but we haven't really gotten into the heavy spending period yet. There was lengthy discussion regarding Chief Phillips's recommendation for compensation for the police lieutenant's package, which was requested to be put in place prior to advertising of the position being available. And there was, after much discussion, reviewing local other departments that Chief provided information, as well as what our current sergeants are making. A motion is needed, which I will make to have the police lieutenant compensation package as outlined by Chief Phillips, including a salary of $135,000, eligibility for longevity pay, tuition reimbursement, and raises, time buyback, on-call payments, and collective bargaining agreement benefits such as health care, pension, clothing, and shoe allowance, dry cleaning, and participation in the drop program, and pending retirement, as the package aligns with the municipalities. And I will make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Salary and package established.
The Gerard Pension Services also provided to us an update on the GASB 67 financial statements for the pension plans. They were reviewed by the committee, and it's a recommendation of the committee to approve and accept those plan statements as prepared by Gerard Pension, and I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. So approved.
As mentioned, we do have $8 million currently invested with Pliget, and as a review of our current cash flow based on the new revenues that are coming in and what appears to be the timing of some of the capital expenditures that are going to be coming up, the committee felt it was necessary and fiduciary responsible to try to invest some of that in some short-term CDs with Pliget, since the interest rates are significantly higher than what we're getting currently at Tompkins Bank. And the recommendation was to invest $2 million into a short-term 60-day CD at an interest rate of 5.03%. And I will make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Durr?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President James.
Yes.
It was also noted that we have one of the CDs coming due for $1 million that's scheduled to mature 5/15, of which we will receive, of that $1 million, over $24,496 in interest, which we'll receive at the time. And it's the recommendation of the committee to invest that at 180 days at 5.35 with Pliget, and I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Durr?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stanko?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President James.
Yes.
Just as a continued ongoing note, we're currently at a variance, projected variance through the end of '23 of $329,000 above budget for interest, which has allowed us to continue to do some major projects that we originally didn't anticipate in the budget, like the 2023 Streets Award. We did that added 105,000, wasn't that right, Jim?
I believe that's right.
So we added another 105,000 to that. We did a bunch of other projects that was not originally budgeted, but was allowed to be done based on the increase in interest. Now, what is gonna start happening is, because of going out on some of these longer days, longer periods, some of the interest that we're gonna start getting now is gonna go into the '24 budget and not the '23 budget. We're just about at the end of where they're feeling comfortable now to take advantage of some of the longer term interest rates. We're gonna move some of those into '24. So we'll still have the good interest, but we'll be budgeting for them. That won't be a variance against budget. We'll be budgeting for them next year. And, we also had a request from 1001 Hill Avenue for relief of some of their water bill as the sewer bill. Well, it's their water bill, but the portion of it that we're gonna relieve is the sewer portion. It was confirmed by our borough people that it did not go through the sewer, and as in has happened in the past, when the complainant or the applicant can prove it and we can verify it in some way, we've granted the relief of the difference. So what I think we did was we took the average of 3 months prior. Michelle, didn't we take 3 months prior, averaged it, and deducted it from what it was?
Well, we did February, March of '22 compared to normal March of '23, and then took the average.
So the requested relief is for $1,958.57, and based on them meeting all of the criteria that has been established in precedents in the past, it was the recommendation of the committee to go ahead and approve that request of $1,958.57. I make that.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Roll call? Adjourn the money?
Okay.
Councilmember Jarrett?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Seiko? Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
Council President James?
Yes. Any other questions for the, Keith? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the finance administration report.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, report is approved. Thank you. Borough managers report, Ms. Fair.
Good evening. The joint municipal authority meeting minutes have not yet been received. Those will be forwarded out with your council packet. The Western Birchwater Authority council, or I'm sorry, meeting minutes were received this morning. You did receive a copy of them earlier today. I'm respectfully requesting a motion to approve listing a 2008 International 7400 single axle dump truck for sale through an online auction. And if anyone has any questions about the prior use of that vehicle, Jim, you have anything you want to add?
No, it's just our typical single axle dump truck that's served its life. This replacement actually came today, so we got a new vehicle today.
When was that ordered?
2 years ago.
A year and a half ago.
Oh, is it really?
And that will be an upcoming topic for me, probably not this infrastructure meeting of finance, but in a month or so, because there's some other equipment that we're hearing, like a tree bucket truck is a year and a half, 2 years out.
I'm afraid to ask how far out police cars are now.
I just checked on that the other week, they're not even scheduled to be built yet. And we ordered those in September.
We have 2 on order, right?
Yep.
I'll make the motion to approve the sale.
Motion, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved? Go ahead and sell it.
I'm respectfully requesting a motion to approve executing a lease with Chef David's for operation of the snack bar at the Wyomissing swimming pool for this year's season. And that would be contingent upon them also providing all certificates of insurance as required by the lease.
And the contract has been approved or written by the solicitor.
Yes, both.
To this one.
So moved.
I have a motion
I'll second.
and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, so approved.
A friendly reminder that Borough Hall offices, well, Borough Hall and all offices besides Police Department and Fire Department will be closed on Monday, May 29th in observance of Memorial Day. And also, for FYI informational purposes, the conditional use hearing scheduled for next Monday, May 15th, 2023 at 1:30 PM for the Wrangler lot, owned by Equus Capital Partners at 915 Penn Avenue, will be postponed and re-advertised for June 7th, 2023 at 9:30 AM.
Okay. Just one thing, with the, you didn't bring up the Memorial Day party.
Didn't happen.
Peter did.
Oh, oh, okay, I must have missed that then, sorry. Okay, anything else? Any other questions for Michelle? Okay, hearing none, entertain a motion to approve her report.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, in your packet is the treasurer's statement of operation, which includes the general fund, Bureau of Water, sewer fund, highway aid, refuge and recycling fund, and the road tax fund. And I'll entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's statement of operations.
Second.
We have a motion in a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it, so approved. Also in your packet is the accounts payable report, which is general fund, Bureau of Water, sewer fund, refuge and recycling fund. And I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second to approve. A roll call, please.
Councilmember Dure?
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel?
Yes.
Councilmember Barnett?
Yes.
Councilmember Stankley?
Yes.
Councilmember Reeser?
Yes.
And Council President James.
Yes. Okay, and moving on, we have the tax collector's report.
Is that the one she sent today? The updated one, or
This is the update.
the one she sent today? Or yesterday?
It is April 1 to 30.
Yeah, she sent an updated one.
And you said we had, how much did she say, 85% paid within the 2% base?
I don't know what this one was then, because there were still some, apparently there were still some checks that she was getting in that she postmarked that she was processing or something.
I wasn't copied on that email, I didn't.
No, this was during the finance meeting, Phil said.
Oh, yeah, so the timing of the finance meeting in relation to not only postmarked, but Betsy will sit on checks for up to a week because of the potential of them bouncing
Yeah.
and coming back out of her account.
I think you're right, Bill, I think it was like 85%.
Okay, any other questions on the tax collector's report? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Is there any old business to be brought before council this evening? Okay, hearing none. Is there any new business? Okay, hearing none. Is there any public comment to matters of non-agenda items? Mr. Jady?
Yes. You have a timer?
Well,
Okay.
road.
So, I want to bring to your attention how the notice of violation system is used disproportionately to favor various political parties, to the like I said, disproportionately. We just had a situation that we were issued a notice of violation for a sign that was above the regulation dimensions, but yet a sign for that is also above, but it's for an opposing party that is more friendly to you guys, is allowed to exist. And and craft codes delays. They were informed about that existence, they delayed the inspection, and they delayed writing the notice of violation. And now the date for removal goes to after elections. They had enough time, they were notified in time, and I've asked simply, why aren't we allowed to keep it till after election? Our due date for removal is set for May 11th. I don't understand why one side can keep the signs, the other side can't. And to remind you what happened last November when the police was sent out to remove or tell one party to push their signs back while the other party is allowed to keep them in the public right of way. The Waxlers, for example, still have them in the public right of way, while the other party has been scared to bejesus to keep their signs on their own property. I have told you this is exactly like in authoritarian regimes where the government agencies are used against opponents. They don't do anything different. They do exact the same tactics. They use exact the same tactics, working out the regulations in their favor. Why do you allow this? And if we ask for a right to know of the notices of violation, we're told that those are secrets, they're government investigations. And we're not allowed to have them. So it's a government investigation about yard signs. We get more information about police reports than we get from the bloody NOVs. There is nothing, no openness. I know Chris is going to tell me that you follow the letter of the law, but you don't follow the letter of the common sense. Yard signs are not a government investigation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dradig. Are there any other public comments this evening?
So I just think that we can't just always just let comments go. So can we add to the infrastructure committee meeting, get an update from Kraft as to the status of political signs, since we've been accused of being an
You can, but
authoritarian regime?
other than
exactly
sending
what you are.
enforcement notices and
No, I don't wanna know about enforcement, I just wanna know what the practice is.
they don't touch
And their
them,
policy.
that's either the police
Oh,
department
so
or me.
it has nothing to do with Kraft codes.
It does in terms of the enforcement notice that both Mr. Jadik and the other individual received were sent by Kraft, because it's a section of the zoning ordinance.
He didn't say he sent it. He said he will receive it
Okay,
soon.
your time's up, sir.
Yeah, so,
Well-
I mean, you just sit here and listen to this shit.
Yeah. No, it's not shit, it's true. If truth is shit to you,
I don't know if it's true, that's what I'm trying to find
It
out.
should be on the infrastructure codes report for Monday,
Okay, so it will be, so we can discuss it further at infrastructure.
next
Monday.
Monday, yes.
Okay, any other public comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion second,
Jim, I'd like to.
we are adjourned, thank you very much.
Yeah.